Joseph Newgarden, as we see Graham Rahal, and what happened to him coming off of turn 10, loops it around on the back end, unable to restart.
Kumasato carrying some speed in, tries to go to power and loops it right around it, and that is how tricky this is now.
Is that a braking bobble, a throttle bobble? What is that? At least he's got Dixon to
turn one and onboard now with James Hinchcliffe. I mean, there's no grip whatsoever, so the people on the outside now is set up to suit just that. But these are some of the most tricky conditions as we see. Oh, Simon Pagenaud losing it into turn one. These are the most...
Oh, trouble! Around in turn two! Will Power! That's Tony Kanaan around. And you saw Ryan Hunter-Reay on pit.
Oh.
Hey, that looked like it just happened back.
Oh, yeah.
Rear wing.
No. I mean, give Will Power credit. He did not want to rub against Robert Wickens.
And Charlie Kimball is off.
Oh, you can see that Charlie was up over the curb, Eddie, so probably
back in. There's no room, and he gets spun around.
Zach Veach lost a piece of his front wing, it looked like, in that.
He was out of control before he got to the apex of the corner.
Yeah, when you come diving into the turn.
Some folks that started in the back trying to get aggressive, and it didn't quite work out. Coming off there, that's the exit of 3, and boy, that just didn't
turn. That's a hard hit. Hard hit.
Ooh.
Do you think he might touch on the right side?
He could have caught it and shot it across the track.
Whoa.
He just couldn't slow down.
On the paint, and a veteran making that mistake. We also saw earlier in the race with Graham Rahal doing the same.
But let's explain that.
Yeah.
That paint
right
is
there.
like being on ice. You just can't stop. So he thought he was going to slow down. He didn't bump him.
No,
he ran him over.
And you just...
We're going to have a record here with full course yellows. Oh, he hit
see the
curb.
back ends coming around.
Oh, no, there was a
tires down.
Tire's gone.
Got no tire.
Yeah.
He was coming back into the pits, but just lost it. See where he hit the wall right at the end?
Yeah.
Wow.
He actually wasn't going that hard when he hit.
Wanted now. As the car comes down to the turn, you can see it was out of our frame for a second. Just looks like he locked up the...
and there's a car in the barrier. He's got it running. That's Max Chilton. Can he keep it running?
No,
he stalled it.
Rossi's close enough.
Looking, turn one. He slides, there's contact. Wickens spins. Bourdais goes through.
Restart previously, so now he looks in his mirror, sees Rossi come on the inside. Perfect line here, but Rossi's already sliding. We talked about less downforce in the car, and just hit.
Go for that. He had no choice. This is where he starts to slide.
Yeah, fans love it. Listen.
What a great race.
See, he wasn't this close.
This will show us.
Because Rossi's going to finish in 4th, and they could penalize him deeper into the grid.
But they can't give him back.
They can't give Wickens back the win, no.
Yes.
Wow. Well, this day has had more than I think the word you used on the opening was chaos. I've repeated it several times.
Already high in the corner, way high in the middle of 3 and 4, and you can see there's probably a ton of tire dust and desert dust up high off the line.
Not a huge contact, but team radio came on and said stop it on track. And
Oh no, just after we said so far so good, it is not for the rookie.
lane, so it looks like he lost the tire in the pit lane. Whoa, watch out for that guy. But he wants to get back around, but it looks like the tire came off.
That rear left, he said, no, 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 it's not on.
Well, that was really no fault of his own. All year, and wait to see the replay here. He's way up high. He just missed his entry and was way up in the gray. And
well, we don't know.
He was a passenger.
That was Spencer Pigot 2 laps down, and we were told that Newgarden and Tim Cindric were asking for blue flags. So I wonder, there's more to the story, I think, guys, when a guy that's running second that
moment, I don't remember what was the latter part of the season that that something had happened, and he just said, this is where I want to be, or this is where my future is. And I don't know if it was the fact that he couldn't find anything else the latter part of the season, and we never really found out exactly what it was, but he said, this is where I'm going to be. I don't think he ever used the word want to be, but where I'm going.
Teammate on teammate, power on the inside. Pagano got hit by Rahal.
Rahal into the back of Pagano. Pagano with the perfect 360, but you have to think there's...
Real time, look to the left.
Hard hit. Chrome horn and a hard hit right on the nose. Watch the nose of the car here.
Okay, one inside.
And on board with Rossi looking out the back. I can't emphasize enough the difference in downforce.
DeMello's car, claiming DeMello's car.
And the irony of being Bourdais' teammate.
Yeah.
Causing the yellow and putting Bourdais back. It just gets wide there, and it's a heavy.
Whoa!
He got hit. He was hit.
When we got a log jam, track.
Bourdais gets turned around. Hunter Ray. Also Robert Wickens. So
where's he going to go? Now we're going to have a track blockage.
There's Dixon. Hunter Ray gets go.
Jordan King
went in. The guy who came in to get his brakes fixed.
And how many times have we seen that at Long Beach, guys? An inexperienced driver intend to hit Bourdais, but that happens all the time in the hairpin.
That was stick. Hello, I'm Jordan King, and I'm coming through.
Then going back and looking at the issue involving Jordan King. We're getting a look at that replay now, and just, coming up the hill, got a little wide there. And
you don't see that very often there.
It almost like the car accelerated once he got off course, and it shot right into the guardrail.
Jordan King again did climb out, but
out of the
Exiting
pits.
pit lane.
Cold tires, leaving
boy.
the pits, gets on it and loses it out of the pit lane. Luckily, no parts on track, no suspension damage. You don't need the wrecker. They just need to get him on the exit. He got sideways. Whoa!
There goes Power! Will Power slams the wall!
Another bad race for Will Power. That's 3 races this year. He's running.
Average finish of everyone in rain races coming in at 5.4.
It was Ryan Hunter-Reay.
I'll bet that most of the field was struggling to get to any kind of full throttle, even at the end of the straight. And I wonder if Power...
Inside. Keep it up.
It's turn 16, final corner. Not sure if he had help from behind or if he just lost it on the throttle, but pretty big fence or wall Armco impact to the... Takes a lot of curb. Everything seemed under control, then just starts to pick up the throttle down on the low. And see how Hinch goes wide. He finds the grip outside. Marco's trying down low. Mark doesn't mean they'll call it in an hour, but let's watch what happens with Rahal. Listen.
Well, he was on the throttle.
Not
a
much.
little bit of a white lie there.
Not much. The race, right down by the museum. It's so slick, and not only is the surface earlier with Rahal, here comes Piggott up the inside.
Oh, jeez, look at that. DeMello just keeps going. Wow, what a move.
That was pretty sweet. Continue without
like
pitting.
Like a scene out of the Fast and the Furious movie, Tokyo Drift.
Rail slide.
He might be from Montreal, but that was Paul Tracy-esque.
That was pretty cool.
That's how it looked from Graham Rahal's view.
I'm not sure what happened in the previous corner between Piggott and DeMello, but Piggott really wanted to force it up there with
car with a move, the squeeze into the corner. And Pagano's around. That's Jordan King off into the dirt as well in the 20 car.
Pagano.
And more cars off. That's
on the outside of the red car on the inside. That was obviously Wickens, but here this is where everything starts to go away from each other.
Ooh.
So that's something.
That was Newgarden, I think, that got into the side of Pagano, made him check up.
Now watch this.
And then King got him from behind.
Top view is the best, but you can see with
can't really see from that angle.
With Pagano, it looks like he started to come around. Looks like. Oh, there you go. Jordan King into the back.
Chicane.
So he's just run out of room, goes over the chicane, in the air, lands, and has no control.
My goodness.
Yeah, turns 5 and 6.
Sato right there.
These things don't steer very well when you're up in the air.
Yeah, steering gets light, doesn't it? I mean, that could have been a lot worse. You know, in that instance there, he probably should have just tried to avoid the curb and go around the outside, but you try not to do that, Eddie, because you know that
pushed out, I believe, into Pagano, making Simon check up and
get more of a runner, like right here. Again.
Braking zone. Newgarden over the curb and around. And he's going to throw fourth place.
So if he's trying to get in there, but he sees that he's gone a little bit too deep up over the curbing. Now, Sebastian Bourdais was very professional. Left him room. Curbing was the same size as some of the other turns that are on the racetrack. He wouldn't have got the car launched.
Take a look at it here. Oh yeah, you can see that he came out of corner number 4 a little high and with the wall, actually. There he is. But don't think there was a whole lot of damage to the car, maybe in the left.
And Jonathan Birds, Restaurant and Hospitality Group, and a big hit for James Davison. Yellow on the course.
And thank God again for the safer barrier, but he just barely hit it.
He did not hit floor. So,
man, oh man.
At that angle, that looked like a pretty big hit.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes in slow motion, not so much. This and now.
Second of the oval in Phoenix. Now here's a replay on your video boards. Keep your eye on it. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. Ooh, the car just turned straight right on him. All right, coming out of turn number 2. And then heading up the back straightaway, and that thing just turned straight right. You can see him getting into the grassy area. There, right there, just sort of turned right on him. Up to date on what's going on. There it is right there. It seemed to. Then gets into the grass, and of course he's just along for the ride of that particular.
Happened.
It was just a question of time when that was going to happen. You can't be running that much slower than anybody else.
You know, I really don't understand that because he is so far off of Takuma Sato.
That's such a pity and such a waste for both of them. All they should have done was called him in, tried to fix the car if it was loose.
Up here, watch Davidson. Inside.
Decision. But Sato had no place to go.
Now, you hang that one on the 33 with Davison because it just makes me mad that he stays out in the racetrack like that.
Yeah, but that's more from the pits should be calling him in. He's doing everything he can to keep obviously a loose car on the track, but you could tell where he was getting past. He was getting past between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. In all the years I've raced here, I've maybe had to on the level of danger.
Caution, trouble, Ed Jones. Off of turn 2. Toward the top of the screen, wow.
Oh, that's just loose. It's gone by the middle of the turn. He's not around any.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm starting to wonder, guys, if maybe something didn't break there because it was just a very quick little movement in the time and very early in the race. Very disappointing.
He was in a lot of dirty air and very low on the track when that happened.
130-mile-an-hour Sunday drive into the corner. Trouble, Danica Patrick.
On a break. On a break.
Very similar to Ed Jones. In the middle of the turn, the back end starts to come around. I thought that she was dealing with a car that was very neutral, too positive on the front. When we watched her earlier in the race, that means it's very difficult to turn into the turn because the back end wants to swap ends. Not sure if that's the case there, but looks very similar, as you mentioned, Eddie, to Ed Jones.
Oh, that's just a loose car. The back end just got away from her. And there's nothing you can do once it goes. You cannot catch it in time. Look how she puts her hands down.
That was Alexander Rossi's spotter telling him good job, good job.
Brake dry.
And actually you can see the flames coming up, so all that fuel is going down onto the under tray, and you'll see when he drives away, the flames will go out over the top. Sometimes they spray water on the car when it...
Go, 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 go. Fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher. Go, 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 go.
Scary, Doc.
Absolutely very scary. Normally when you see these teams make a pit stop and add fuel, you'll see someone spray water.
Wow. These cars are so difficult to control when they're on the limit. When you're behind somebody, you get caught up in dirty air and you have a little bit too much steering in. He just had a tank slapper, whereas the last years you'd have had 800 to 1,000 pounds more downforce to help you. Look at that. He just barely got sideways and then lost control. This is all happening at 220 miles an hour.
The cars being so safe today. You see that white barrier that we have in front of the crew.
Caution, trouble, Elio Castroneves into the wall.
Oh dear.
The yellow car. Wow.
Same thing. That's the same thing we've been seeing all day.
Ryan Hunter-Reay directly behind him, and Alexander Rossi made some brilliant.
Just lost grip.
So difficult as a driver because you lead.
This new car is very unforgiving.
Oh, trouble into the wall. Sage Karam. And another caution flag.
But what a brilliant piece of driving. Caught the car, brought it back, put it up against the wall.
And this is going to be a longer cleanup. Same thing that happened to everybody else. Lost grip.
Back end started to come around. Got loose. He caught it halfway through the turn.
But when he hit the wall, it just ripped that right rear tire off the car. And after that,
once you hit the wall, everything starts coming off.
Difficult to pass with, and everybody knows it's getting time to put the show on.
We're on another one.
Looks like the car just started to wiggle just a little bit. Coming out of the turn, back, and then it got away from him.
Almost doesn't do it around here. That's the same thing.
But you're hopeful.
You can be hopeful as much as you want. Once it gets sideways, you're gone.
You heard him be aggressive on the accelerator. He was looking for a draft going down the stretch. down into turn 3, hoping to make up some positions, and it didn't work out.
What a day Tony Kanaan has had. Remember, he was...
Over the bumps. Oh, the tire caved on the left rear. Did you see that? That was very interesting.
Did getting that right front so far up on the curbing just kick the car like that?
Yeah, I think his right front tire. Oh, he clipped the curb on the inside.
Pig at that time.
Oh, trouble! Ferrucci! Oh, a big crash.
And that's why those tires did.
Yeah.
It's still a tremendous impact, though.
That's 170 miles an hour, guys. That is a ride.
So did Ferrucci slow down quicker than Kimball was expecting, or was Kimball just trying to get and make it out, try to outbrake him on the outside? Back live at Detroit, and the race has stopped before it even really got started. The pace car spun and hit the wall, exiting the pit lane over that hump that comes off onto the racetrack.
It's like he wasn't expecting to see the two-seater there.
And that is one of the fastest sections of the racetrack for a race car at speed.
Just accelerating and hit something,
Yeah, I think he just got on the gas, unfortunately, and the back end came around because the back end gets light going over that hump. So
Oriol Servia is the pace car driver. There you see the passenger and the pace car hitting the pits.
Whoa! Very lucky, Eddie, as you mentioned, that he didn't get collected.
Gabby Chavez was the car coming at him at full speed, along with Marco Andretti, that saw him and avoided.
He was very lucky that Gabby was paying attention.
This will end up snapping, I'm sure. There it goes.
Yeah, you see that tire, the left rear tire just moved.
Yeah, like I said, toe link or something. So
look at Hunter Ray, how close he came to the back of that car. Talk about being on automatic.
And that's the high-speed section,
watch
too.
Hunter Ray, watch Hunter Ray.
Yeah.
And Graham Rahal there.
And who says?
Wickens there.
Yep.
Watch the left rear tire.
Yep. Look at the reflexes that Hunter Ray had here to avoid it.
It's 120.
With a turnaround here off of turn number 5.
Yeah. Now we didn't see enough early in that
incident there yesterday, and here in qualifying we've already seen drivers sliding through, so turn 7 later today going to be an interesting spot. But as these drivers are finding out, there aren't
see them go back to green here. He's pretty buried there in is that that is turn 11. It just carries a bit too much speed, understeer straight into the wall. Very
trying to get up to speed, staying low. There comes willpower.
The Brazilian rookie who says he's learning as fast as he can, and having a teammate like Tony Kanaan has been.
Flames just start to tickle out the right-hand side, and then it just lights off.
You got to remember, before you see the flames on the outside of the car, there's probably a good-sized fire underneath the bodywork.
Stay ahead of Scott Dixon here. Oh, Wickens is gone. So too Ed Carpenter.
Oh, that's a hard crash for Ed, right on the attenuator. He got in the inside of Ed, and he wasn't all the way in there, and Ed was on the bottom of the track. And
Okay, Bud, you had tough break that, man. Are you okay? Yeah.
Right here, and Ed's turning in, and he's not all the way in there. They touch, and now watch these cars, just both of them equally hit the outside wall, dead square on the gearbox.
Luckily, Carpenter cushioned the blow for Wickens. Well, I don't know if it was lucky for Ed. It was lucky for Wickens. But
look how low Wickens gets though, down on the apron.
Yeah.
Gonna have a view coming up for you from Graham Rahal.
Inside, clear.
Yeah, I mean, Ed was just taking the natural line into the corner, and Robert wasn't all the way in. Just gets to the exit, and Will starts coming up the track, and they run out of space.
Well, Power's behind Hunter Ray, and Power gets the big wash of the front end coming up.
Look at this second hit right here when the car of Will Powers, it slammed the wall hard after they come through the dogleg here. Watch this, guys.
And Power just gets the big wash up off of Hunter Ray's car. I don't think Power had any expectation there was another car coming there. And if he did, there's probably nothing he could do about it, because once you get that wash, as we've seen earlier, you back off the throttle and the thing keeps shooting up the track.
Boom, look at that hard hit up in the air.
It's a classic rookie situation where you see a big hole, but you have to be thinking about all the moving chess pieces around.
Solis, yeah.
Solis,
Look at this, just completely off the track. Tries to save it, goes over the escape road and jumps. And then looks like he's going to be able to hang on to it, but then the car rotates and into the tire barriers. But that was a wild ride, and be interesting to see if we can get another view of that, a different vantage point to see what put him offline. But that's a vicious hit there.
Alfonso Solis Jr. in the car this weekend for Ricardo Juncos' operation, and a pretty heavy contact, bringing out a red flag for this session.
And that's not how you want to build momentum into your first Verizon IndyCar Series weekend. We obviously saw Alfonso.
So we see now he gets really loose, sideways, crossed up.
Oh,
touches.
Sato.
Sato hits his front wing.
That's terrible for Sato, who was running fifth and so strong.
Look at his crossed hands, big slide, sprint car style. And
Sato straightened out Ed Carpenter. Carpenter would have spun, but Sato saved the day for Ed.
Exciting, a lot of positive things for us to go there, and got actually two guys in the barrier in turn 8.
Yep, it looks like one of the
Here's we're going to get a chance to see the replay for the first time.
Yeah, it looked like Wickens just bumped it into the tire barrier, was in a very difficult spot, and he could have gone sideways into the rear of that race car, Jack, talking about Newgarden.
Joseph definitely looked a little bit free there going in. You see Robbie just locked up a little bit, ended up in the tire barrier, and then Joseph's top guys in the championship, and it just shows you how difficult this race truly is.
So one more time, let's remind folks of the support you get from both AutoNation and Sirius XM. Of course, we have a little vested interest in that with our day, and we're looking at the number 20 of Jordan King and Dave First.
Turn 3.
Not good for Jordan King.
Oh, sorry. All right.
Well, this will probably cause a full course yellow.
Maybe not.
Side of Hinchcliffe. It's a drag race up the back. Power. Max Chilton.
Ray Hall. Oh, it locks up big into the back of Chilton, and that kind of really just caused it all.
Oh, boom. Somebody went flying over the back of Ray Hall there, too.
Will Power
way off the back. He just wants to get through the corner and gets there, and it's completely blocked.
Look at that. He can't even turn.
I think it was Ed Jones. Ed Jones was that other car a little further up. Look for that blue NTT data car. There it is.
There goes Graham.
Oh, Rossi. Rossi launches, so he might have a toe link as well.
Ray Hall sideways in the 15.
Yeah, look at the front wing of Rossi. He hit dead square, and his teammate launched him with the rear of his car, so he's going to have...
Newgarden, look at he's wide here, but look at the path that he draws. He basically is driving through snow right here. You can see his tire marks. It looks like
he just missed the turn-in. Like he just would not turn at all. Dixon says, see you later.
It's almost as if Jake talked him off the ledge during that interview right there. As it looks like someone else has spun here, Mark.
Yeah, it's one of the Verizon cars. That's the 12 of Will Power, and right at the crest of a hill off a corner. That's not a really good place. Oh, a couple of cars have to spin to miss it, but Charlie Kimball among those. Another car gets off course as a result. Worst place on this course. That was dicey for sure.
Well, we see Power spin in front of Pagano, who did a remarkable job of staying out from any kind of contact.
Veach avoided it.
Veach comes through, and then you see Kanaan, who's slowed up. Yeah, you're right. And then we see Charlie Kimball get into the back of Tony Kanaan at the crest.
2 with spins for Stockdale, Ohio's Zach Veach and Hendersonville, Tennessee's Joseph Newgarden, both of which brought out red flags. Will Power's rough day continued when he spun exiting turn 4, sending his Verizon Chevrolet spinning downhill. That would bring out red flag number 7. Many of those same off-track excursions we saw Friday popped up for drivers with varying levels of experience. Sebastian Bourdais struggled to get his car slowed in the keyhole, nosing his Sealmaster Honda into the tire barrier late in the round, but a mistake in the carousel left his Aero Honda in the tire barrier with heavy rear wing damage.
Takuma Sato outside here.
He got touched.
Might be contact. Was that Max Chilton? Yep. It looks like it.
Chilton gave him the chrome horn. He did a 360. Lucky it's down. Lockup. Touches him in the back. Sato does a 360. It's roll. Let the donuts begin, Katie. Oh, he got it stuck. No. He got it stuck.
That's maybe one thing he hasn't mastered yet.
We're about to find out. 4 races to go in the championship. Somebody hit the wall. Spencer Pigot spins.
That was Graham Rahal, I think, on the outside.
Oh, he just ran over the back of him and knocked him around.
Absolutely.
So he mistimed that, was going to try to get a good jump and hit the back of Pigot, but that was a...
Ready? Get ready. Ready?
Well, you
get ready. Get close.
Gassed it.
Yeah, he was going and nobody was going yet. It was like...
Soil entry of Canada's Robert Wickens.
Oh, that's going to be tight through there.
Oh,
early touch. Oh, my God.
Oh! That's Robert Wickens. And his teammate is into him as well, James Hinchcliffe. That was ugly. That was frightening.
Big impact.
That was a very scary accident.
There was connection between Wickens and the left rear of
Robert Wickens, as we see, Paul, as you pointed out. Pietro Fittipaldi, there's a guy that didn't need any impact with the wall, coming back from injury after a nasty accident and broken legs.
pretty graphic.
Move looking high, he goes around his teammate Newgarden. Now Pagano is challenging Rossi.
Rossi's getting swallowed up. He's going to lose. Oh, the car spinning in. Damage to Bourdais. What a shame.
Right when the yellow comes out.
Bourdais might have touched with Ed Jones. They might have touched wheels. We lost.
Three, two.
There, look.
Nope.
He just got loose.
Just lost it, Paul.
He was in the middle of two cars there.
And it wasn't Ed Carpenter. He was behind.
And boy, Veach narrowly avoided two incidents. And so, think about Spencer Pigot. He got drilled from behind at Pocono. He almost...
Of Veach.
Same thing. Townsend way out in that little runoff area, and then once you're out in that no man's land and you get the marbles on the tires, you're just
going for it. Listen, it'd be off throttle the whole time. Trying to downshift anything to keep it on the island, as they say, but just too little, too late.
So the two crashes that we saw, this is
at speed here. He just got way wide out into that runoff little section there. got sideways and then couldn't get him having trouble in the back. Guys are bailing through the chicane. Where will they come out?
Oh, no!
Dixon. That's no good. Dixon's in the middle of that. Car upside down. Andretti, I think.
Scott Dixon is in the middle of that mess. No, it's not. It's Ed Jones. No, Dixon is. He's off to the side. Oh, no.
That car that came, I think, filing out of the chicane where he took the bail off, caused that a stack up on everybody, just caused a melee.
I think that's Marco Andretti.
It is
upside down.
The other nose of the car, if he can't, I don't know if he can squeeze between those two.
Graham Rahal is the other car.
Here he goes.
Dixon's going.
He won't lose a lap. What a man he is.
Nice to see Marco moving in the cockpit there.
And the AMR safety team doing an amazing job. Defining moment in the championship.
How this started, Paul.
Yeah, I think Hinchcliffe lost it in front of the field. He got loose coming out of that kink and lost it, and then everybody just piled right into the back of him. Can't even see so much. How does he not hit anybody?
Unbelievable. Still curious what
Zach Veach. Veach is squeezing him.
He was all over the curb and just tried to ride the curb out. Look at Marco's car goes over the top, but he tried to ride up on that curb. Veach was ahead.
Oh, wow. In the Arizona sandstorm like. Watch Andretti. Backwards and up and over.
He was flying flat, and then his car basically did a little kick off of the roll bar of Hinch, and that
Deep into the tire barrier, and we're getting a look at it right now.
Oh, boy, that is... Ooh, and that's a big impact for Sebastian Bourdais.
Just shy of the midway point when Takuma Sato took a rough ride into the tire barriers, exiting turns 11 and 12. Moments later, Simon Pagenaud took a similar trip into the tires as the final few turns at PIR appear to be the tricky spot. And the practice session ended when Alfonso Solis Jr., who was back in the Juncos Chevy, went spinning off course to bring out a red flag. Scott Dixon enters the weekend as the points leader by just 26 markers over Alexander Rossi, and despite this minor spin in practice 1, spun in turn 2, making light contact with the tire barrier, the mayor of Hinchtown ended the session 15th.
For TK.
Oh, he's already sideways before he gets over the top. Now, I will say, this is so similar to when Will Power came over and had his accident, but they have added. Now, watch Scott Dixon as he appears.
It's a good start.
Oh, it looks like there was contact there.
Rossi's got smoke coming from the car.
Going into turn 1, Andretti checks up. Rossi straight into the back and to the back of the field. He'll have to come to pit lane.
Everybody was checking up as you go up the hill at accordion, so everybody now is starting to get on the...
Hold on, Jordan King on the inside there. One of the Harding cars, James Hinchcliffe is in the mix. Carlos Munoz gets turned around. As soon as the green flies...